Okay, hi Michaela. I'm sorry, first of all, that it took so fucking long to get your reading done, but I'm doing it now. So this is gonna be part one. We're gonna go over the basics of your chart, and then part two is gonna be, you know, when you have more questions to ask me, I'll clarify those. I might even pull some tarot cards out for more further clarification. I'm gonna go way more in depth with your chart, but for now, we're just going to do the basics. So let's see. God damn it. Okay, here we go. So I have your chart on my iPad. All right. So let's start off, right? So I need you to know four things, or I need you to know one thing that's four things first, okay? So you have four elements in astrology, okay? So you have your water, right? Fire, earth, and air. Water and earth complement each other well. Fire and air complement each other well. Water and fire clash. Earth and air clash. Okay? So now let's get started with the most basic part of astrology, which is the sun sign, and that's what everyone knows, okay? So your sun sign is going to be, you know, you can just know your birthday, and you're going to know your sun sign, which is why things are so generalized in astrology, because everyone just knows their sun sign, and that there's so much more to it than that. However, it is obviously a very important part of your chart, okay? So you're a Sagittarius, which is one of my favorite signs. I'm a Sagittarius cusp. Okay, so your sun is in Sagittarius, right? So sun signs, let's explain that first. So the sun is going to be your personality traits, your characteristics. It's going to be how your coworkers, your family members, your friends see you, you know, people that you know, like that's how they see you as. It's mainly your sun sign, okay? So let's get into that. But before we get into that, there's a very important thing that a lot of people don't know about called your chart ruler. Now, your chart ruler is going to be the sign that influences every aspect in your chart, okay? So we need to know that first before we can even get into this, because we need to know what's influencing your chart. So, gotta stop. Sorry if my cat gets annoying in this. But, so first of all, the way you find your chart ruler is you'll go to your rising sign. I'll explain rising in a second. And your rising is in Virgo. So Virgo is ruled, I have a little chart here just so I remember things. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and your Mercury is in Capricorn, okay? So Capricorn is going to be having an influence on all of the different placements in your chart, okay? Capricorn is an earth sign, Capricorn is a cardinal sign, and I'll explain those both in a second to you. But that's going to play an influence on everything in your chart. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So let's go into the sun sign. Your sun sign is in Sagittarius. Okay, so this part is easy for me because I know so many Sagittariuses, so I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of them. They're influenced by Capricorn, so you're going to be a little bit more serious than the regular Sagittarius, okay? Especially because, so your sun's in Sagittarius, right? So this is like the biggest things. If you look it up, you're going to see optimistic, freedom loving. Those are the two biggest things about Sagittarius, okay? You need your freedom. You don't like being confined. You don't like being trapped. You may, especially, not for you. Some Sagittariuses will struggle with commitment issues. I don't think that you have that issue, but you might be a little bit flirty. I think that you do like being in relationships because of your, we'll get into that in a second. Anyways. Let's see what else about Sagittarius is. They're very optimistic people. They're more on the happy, you know, energetic, fun side. You know, they want to go out and party, and they are a fire sign. Okay, so fire signs, obviously, it kind of explains itself, right? You're fiery. You're probably outgoing. You're probably very social. Another thing I've noticed about a lot of Sagittarius is they're very well spoken and very polite. Like they're very, like when you talk to a Sagittarius, they kind of talk like they're not very harsh with their words, and the way that they speak is very, they're polite, and they come across as very polite and nice. However, when you're close to the Sagittarius, they can be super fucking blunt. Like they will tell you how it is, and they can a lot of times blurt out things like an ADD thing where they're just kind of like splurting shit out at you, and you know, some people can't handle that, but Sagittariuses are known to, you know, tell you how it is, whether you like it or not. But for the most part, since this is your sun sign, it's not, you know, your whole chart, I feel like after I'm looking at the rest of your chart, you're probably more soft-spoken than regular Sagittarius is. You're probably a little less blunt and a little more well-spoken and composed. Being Sagittarius while they do have this very free, fun-loving, party, energetic side to them, they're also very composed. And it's kind of conflicting, but we're going to look into your chart a little bit more to see which side you're going to lean towards. But overall, Sagittarius are very social people. They're very friendly people. They're composed people. They do have a wild side to them. And they have the most amazing, like, Sagittarius are probably one of the funniest, like, people I've ever met. That's why I have so many Sagittarius friends, because all they do is make me laugh, okay? That's your sun sign, right? Now we're going to go to your rising sign, and your rising is in Virgo. So let's explain the rising sign a little bit, right? So your rising, also known as the ascendant, is how other people that are first initially meeting you perceive you. And this can be how they perceive you just based off your social media if they haven't met you before. This can be based off of, let's see, like, say you're going to a job interview, say you just got a new job and your coworkers are meeting you for the first time, how they're gonna see you. And it's gonna be, say, you know, you're with your friends and they brought a friend over, like, say, like, I met you because Taylor brought me over. So, like, how you first perceive me is my rising sign, you know what I mean? So that's how you're gonna first look at someone, and that's how people first see you. And it's a Virgo, right? So Virgo is ruled by the planet of Mercury. Virgos are, and it's also an earth sign, okay? I'm also going to be writing down some things about you as we go. Hold on. And I'll explain these at the end. Okay. Ah, stop. Stop. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so Virgo is an earth sign. Virgos are very grounded. Virgos are very intellectual and analytical. And they're pay very close attention to details. But however, since this is just your rising sign, I don't see you really being a super like analytical person. You might come across as a little bit judgmental. You might come across as a little bit high strung at first to people, not super laid back. Especially because you have Capricorn ruling your chart as well. Capricorns can come off as kind of closed off or like assholes or like detached, but that's how they come off to people that don't know them. They're just meeting them, right? Virgos tend to be more introverted. They're not the most out there person, right? So I don't see you being someone that's super outgoing as soon as you meet someone. However, Sagittarius are very outgoing, so it kind of, but how you may come across to people when they first see you is going to be someone that's kind of serious, more on the serious side than on the like carefree side, because Virgos are the exact opposite of carefree. And someone who's an intellectual, someone who's very smart, and someone who notices things easily, okay, right? So that's a lot of Virgo. Also, you might come across as critical to, well, Virgos are known for being perfectionists. Like they want everything on point, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So you might come across as being critical, or judgmental, but it's more critical. But Virgos, their biggest issue is, self-criticizing. They're very hard on themselves in so many ways, harder on themselves than they are on anyone else. And they kind of project all this, this like critique that they have on themselves, and they kind of might tend to project that onto others. However, this I don't feel is really going to relate to you too much, except for the form of your work, because we're gonna know in a second. But I don't think you're going to relate to this too much, because like I said, this is your rising and this is how people perceive you. Now let's go to your moon sign, okay? Moon is very important, especially for you, because I looked at your chart. Okay, so if you look at this, right? I don't know if you can see it, but basically, see how all of your signs are below that middle line? That means your night chart. Often people are day charts. I actually haven't seen barely any night charts. I've been doing birth chart readings when I'm drunk, like at bars or parties, like for such a long time, and I very rarely see a night chart. So a night chart means is that you are going to actually be more based on your moon sign than your sun sign. And your moon sign is Libra. Okay, so Libra moon, I love this. Okay, so first of all, I don't know if you remember, but I told you that fire and air complement each other very well, okay? Libra is an air sign, Sagittarius is a fire sign. So your sun and your moon are and Sagittarius and Libra are a great combination. So you complement very well, and it's a very smooth like placement to have right there. I really like that. So let's go into what moon means. Okay, so moon is your inner emotions. It's how you emotionally respond and react to things, and it's kind of like your innermost self. Your truest, deepest form of yourself is often your moon sign, right? So we see rising people that have just met. You can be in line at I don't know, like a checkout or whatever, or you can be at an interview, or you can be meeting a random person for the first time and how they perceive you. So people don't really know you, right? Sun sign is your friends, your family, people around you, you know, that just are like coworkers, etc. That's how they see you. But your moon sign is gonna be how people that are the closest to you, really close relationships, your family that has your family, like say you have a sister that you're like really close with, you're not as close with your mom, she probably sees more of your moon sign. Does that make sense? And your like best friends are going to see your moon sign more, and that's going to be the strongest, especially because you are a night chart, you're not a day chart. So that's going to be a lot stronger of an influence. Okay, let's get into Libra, right? Libra is also